We'll call January 19, 2022 meeting of the Greenwood Board of Public Works and Safety in order at 5:30 p.m. A roll call, please. Amanda.
Mr. Coleman,
Here.
Mr. Hoover,
Here.
Mr. Rutherford.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Minutes of the regular session of January 5, 2022 have been distributed to members of the board. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from staff? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval as presented?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. First on our agenda is Chief Eisen. Evening, Chief.
Good evening. A couple of things. I'm here to seek approval for our annual Chaplains contract with Scott Miller. The monthly salary is still $100 a month, and it is good for 1 year.
Questions for Chief?
I'll vote for approval.
I believe I put that for the mayor to sign, but that's for the police chief to sign. I apologize.
Okay.
I'll move for approval of the police chief.
Both of them.
I'll
Oh,
second.
does it have both of them? Oh, okay.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chief. Your second matter.
Last night I was informed that Lieutenant Eric McElhaney will be retiring. He has had a job offer that he couldn't refuse, and we wish him the best of luck, but I would like to have his duty weapon retired to him. So I'm seeking permission to do that. It is a Glock 17, serial number Z Zebra K King D David 852.
You know, it's hard to believe you found someplace better to work with with the department. I'll move that we approve that request.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Just how many years did he work for the city? Yeah.
Well, he's got, I want to say he's going on 28, but he worked a few with Martinsville before, so he's been a police officer for about 30 years.
Okay.
Next, I'll move to Kevin Riddle from Arbor Homes, Cherry Tree Walk, Section 5. I saw Kevin online.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Kevin, tell us what you wanted to do here on Section 5.
Cherry Tree Walk, Section 5. This will be the last section of Cherry Tree, and we are looking to for the acceptance of the final plat and execution of the plat, accept the improvements and the maintenance guarantees and the performance guarantees.
Kevin, our memo from Paul Peony shows that they had just a few conditions: receipt of the balance due on the inspection and testing agreement 2537, and revised guarantees and approval obtained by legal department, engineering, and the receipt of Mylar and digital as-bills. Is that all correct, Daniel?
It is, with the addition of one more requested condition.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, for the record, Chris Jones, Stormwater Department. We're doing a inspection of the mitigation area. So there's a tree mitigation planting that's along this L.W. Jones ditch. What we want to ask for as a condition also of this release is that the area be mowed between the ditch and where the start of this mitigation tree planting is.
Those white.
Yeah, that's what's, yeah, so that's within a mitigation easement, but from the edge of the tree to the top of the bank, that still needs to be maintained, that common area. So we just ask that that's added on as a condition.
Kevin, any problems with that?
So I understand it, he's wanting that, will that be a condition? So I'll need to get that mowed before I can get the plat?
No, not necessarily.
No, we just, that it's continued to be maintained.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Any questions for Daniel, for Mr. Riddle, Mr. Jones?
I'll move for approval.
Subject to those conditions.
Subject to those conditions. I'll second. I have a question.
Is that area that you want mowed, is that an easement area, common area, or what is that?
Yes, if you can see there in the, on the screen, there's a large common area right there. And so it's all along that legal drain that we just invested.
Chris, help me out, I'm not.
So
Sure.
all the stuff around
Right here.
Oh, okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, so the tree mitigation, there's a section here, here, and so just between the top of bank and where that mitigation starts would be common area, so it would have to have a long range plan, whether it's gonna be mowed, we're gonna make it prairie, but right now it's just open space, so.
So will that responsibility turn to the HOA?
Correct, it'd be the HOA's responsibility.
But until then, it's the developer, until they turn it over to the HOA.
Sure.
Are those trees gonna be relocated or something at some point?
Now they're part of that Western Regional Mitigation tree planting.
How big do they get? They don't look very big now.
They-
They've been there a while.
I'm not sure how long that easement lasts. That's something that,
The sanitation department has coordinated that mitigation plan as part of the Western Regional, like Chris mentioned.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Kevin, we're still up for sanitary sewer extension, Cherry Tree Walk.
Yeah, this was kind of a project within a project. We started on that, the 15-inch main a little earlier before we did the rest of it. And that's kind of why it got separated out. But it's installed and has been tested by Greenwood Sanitation, and we have their approval letter on it. So we're just asking for the acceptance of it, acceptance of the maintenance bond and the release of the performance bond for erosion control in that small area, because now it is now covered in the overall erosion control bond for the entire site.
Our recommendation from Paul Peony is for acceptance, subject to receipt of Mylar and digital as-bills. Anything else, Daniel? Okay. Pleasure of the board.
I move that we approve the request subject to those conditions.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Kevin. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone. You guys too.
Next, I'm going to go to Peterman, Heating, Coolant, and Plumbing. Mr. Peterman, are you with us? Andy, you know anything about this? Not sure. Haven't seen Chad on there.
Yes, this is for a site plan of their expansion of their facility. There you can see the general area. There's a lot 3E. There's the bottom right of that plan view graphic. So they have a number of performance bonds that they are requesting for you to accept. That is our recommended motion for you to accept the performance guarantees, dirt work, storm sewer, erosion control, streets, sidewalks, signs, and monuments. And to accept and execute the general inspection and testing agreement and ratify acceptance of the 50% upfront fee for this project.
And there's no additional conditions.
That is correct.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Dan, for handling that. Next, let's look at Park 1401, Easy Street Condominiums. Greg Gilco. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Greg Oco with Roadside Engineers, representing the developers and owners of Lot 5 in Easy Street condos. They're south of County Line Road. Basically, what we're doing is there's an existing structure that is being transferred to condo HDR, and the condo wall lot lines need to be platted to split the building in four for transfer of ownership.
And again, the only condition recommended on this was receive a revised amended final plat and review and approval of that then by planning and engineering commissions.
Correct. That's just been given to Daniel.
I move for approval subject to that condition.
So, further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks very much.
Passion here. Thanks for coming in. It's nice to have people in person.
Good seeing you, Greg.
Good seeing you guys. And wait,
Next, Nestle Water, Preston South Business Center, Joe Giho.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Hope I didn't butcher your name too bad, Joe.
No, it's been pronounced worse than that.
Tell us what you want here, Joe.
Well, Nestle put in a tanker offload station a while back, and we've been working to get some maintenance bonds posted for this. I think we've got it well underway now. They should be, I guess, in the city's hands next week. We're asking for acceptance of the completion of the improvements that have all been inspected and approved, and acceptance of the maintenance guarantees, and then release the performance bonds. So,
And again, the only condition that I see here is we receive revised maintenance guarantees, then review and approval of that by the engineer and legal division. Correct?
correct. Yes.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll move for approval with that with condition.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank
Thank
you,
you
Joe.
very much.
Good
Appreciate it.
evening. Next, we're gonna talk about Light of Life Lutheran Church. Kevin, are you with us?
I am here. Good evening, and
Evening.
thanks for accepting the contract with our pastor. Appreciate that.
Tell us what we're gonna do here.
We have completed the improvements on the property there on Sheik Road, and we'd like to get the release of the maintenance guarantees for that. I believe it's been quite a few years, and finance, I think, is holding a couple checks of ours. So we just look for those funds to be released.
And this is an unconditional approval, correct? Well, I'll move for approval as presented by Paul Pioni.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Thanks and have a good evening.
Thanks, folks.
Next, we're going to turn to a familiar topic. Tom Wood Group, stormwater violation. We've got an appeal of a stormwater ticket. I think we all have that in front of us. Mr. Feldman, are you with us? Sam, is this fall into your bailiwick or Chris's to put it before us?
Either ones. This is the,
They submitted appeal, and process is, it goes to board work secretary, and puts it on the next meeting.
And I emailed with him, he said yes, and I sent him the agenda, so.
Okay. Well, the current status of this is the third citation. And the fine is total due now is $2,500 plus court costs of $135 for $26.35. Presume they are appealing that violation, which we previously discussed on several occasions now. Is there, we'll take it that the appeal is before us for acceptance or denial. Is there action the board wish to take on this?
You want to continue it to the next meeting since they're out here to state their case?
Come back. I would move to deny it at this point.
I would second that. I'm not trying to, I mean, if Amanda said that she's had communications with them, told them what it's about. We've talked to them on several occasions. Daniel, you have anything to offer on this?
More just an update from from CDS in terms of them working to develop their plans. They submitted a packet of information back on December 2nd. Dale Davis, planning director, responded to them on December 3rd, informing them that they had submitted the wrong application, that they needed to resubmit with the proper application. We haven't heard, we haven't received any documents since that time. There were some emails earlier this week between their engineering firm and city staff, basically just reiterating that they need to reapply with the right documentation.
So it's been over a month with no response to Dale's.
To the initial one, but there were occasional, they had misunderstood that simply submitting the packet would then be automatically forwarded to our outside reviewer, but they had not submitted the right documentation.
Any further discussion? Motion on the floor is to deny the appeal request. It's been seconded. All in favor of the motion to deny, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same.
Aye.
Stand to one. Next in the audience, Molly, I understand you may have something for us.
Yes, we need, I'm here tonight to.
Oh, okay, I'm
request
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If Sam's gonna,
Either or.
We just need for you to approve an amendment to the fast sign agreement to add one more sign, and this is for Freedom Springs, and the amount of the contract is $1,604.80.
questions for Sam, Molly?
I move for approval.
I'll second that. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anyone else in the audience, either in person or online, who wish to address us? Hearing none, we'll move on to hear about the IDM compliance plan status update.
We have a semi-annual report that's been prepared and distributed to you. Legal department would ask you to authorize our transmitting that to the state.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Also, are you gonna handle the condemnation matter?
Yes.
Sam, let's do that. I guess we're kind of under your, that's a task number 2.
Start my status task with a walk-on. This is a approval of the settlement on Parcel 5 on Horseball Road, Section 3. This is the Colonel property. This is one where we had a pretty low initial appraisal, but our appraiser did not account for having to replace an entire septic system. The amount of the settlement is $100,000. Our council believes that our good day in court would be $80,000 and it costs us significantly more than $20,000 to try the case. So outside counsel is recommending that we settle the case for the $100,000 offer, and that I agree with this assessment.
So motion to approve the settlement of $100,000.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is a request to hire the Taylor Chad firm for representation of BZA appeal. We believe this is prudent because Shauna has been advising the BZA on its deliberations in respect to this problem. Their hourly rates were included in the contract, and we request you to authorize the mayor to sign this one and the last one, please.
Is this just for one case?
Yes.
Those rates are fairly modest.
Yes. In Johnson County, those would be paralegal rates.
Yes. Questions for Sam? And I'll move that we approve the hiring of this Taylor Chad firm for the crop matter.
I'll say.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
If it pleases the board, I'd like you to consider the next 3 contracts together. They're all with higher ends, they're just for different agencies of the city. These are all at the precise same terms and conditions as last year. And we ask you for you to authorize the mayor to sign these 3 agreements.
And the general one is just $100 a month more than the other 2, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So any problems with doing all 3 at once? Then you can correct that. Okay. we approve the Hiram's contracts for sanitation operating at $1,500 a month, general at $1,600 a month, and waste management services at $1,500 a month.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next three contracts are with different parties, so I don't know that they can be considered together, but the narrative's the same. These are all contracts that the board splits evenly with the mayor's office budget. The first is the community van, the second is senior services, and the third is the Greenwood Social. These are for the exact same terms as last year.
Let's do those separately so the record is a little bit cleaner. And Sam, the five, for example, community van, 5,000, is that the board of works share or is that the total share?
That's the total share.
Okay, so ours would be 2,500.
It's actually
It's
split.
actually mayor and council.
Yeah, mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, council. These are mayor's office, common council. I'm sorry.
They're approving on the mayor's office.
Yes.
So we're doing it on the mayor's authorization. Okay. Let's do the community van one first.
I move for approval at $5,000 per year.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'll move for approval of senior services contract for $15,000 a year.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And finally, the social. I'll move for approval, $40,000 for the year.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is consideration of the annual contract with the Johnson County Aspire. The amount of this contract for this year is $55,000, and we'd ask you all to authorize the mayor to sign.
This one is with the board of works.
I'll move for approval.
Authorizing the mayor.
Yes.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
It's fun keeping it straight every year.
All right, next up is consideration of a land donation. This is from GLA, and this is for 3.4 acres of real estate located. It's wedged between Worsfield Road and the I-64 ramp on the I-65. I'm sorry, I-65 ramp on the east side of town. We'd ask you to approve this, subject to the corporation council approving the final form of the documents with the mayor to sign.
So moved.
Second.
You have to Mr. Rutherford. I heard that.
Okay.
You all get paid the same for that.
Yeah.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is another Duke Energy Light agreement. This one's located near 388 Lake Ridge Lane.
That is. Trying to find the map. Monthly rate of $33.
33.44.
Questions for Sam on this?
I'll move for approval. Authorizing the mayor.
Second.
Further discussion? Fair to say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is consideration of a professional services agreement with VS Engineering, and this is for 4 different projects, and the amounts are set forth in the agreement. The fire station, Cutsinger Road, County Line, and Madison Avenue, and the sidewalk easement for 1142 North Emerson,
So a little bit of
with the mayor to sign, please.
which is right-of-way acquisition for management services. And then professional services agreement for sidewalk easement exhibit preparation.
Right away staking.
Right-of-way staking and tax preparation service. I don't know about you guys, but the copies that I received on all of them except for the right-of-way acquisition made reference to the redevelopment commission as opposed to board of works. But these are board of works, should be board of works, is that right? And then
My understanding is we'll have to correct as a further sign.
okay.
Yes. I apologize for
No,
that.
that's, I just want to make sure that it was in the right packet.
Well, I would, you want to take them all?
Yeah, I think it's the same contract.
So too. I would move that we approve the contract with VS Engineering for the services outlined for those 5 items. Fire station, Cutsinger Road, County Line Road, and sidewalk.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Four of us. Yeah, can't count.
All right.
Aye.
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 Motion passes. That's okay. Daniel. Bristol Road, section 2, parcel 5.
Yeah, good evening. So this is the same parcel that the board acted on a little earlier, but a different topic. We were contacted by the Johnson County Health Department, asking if the owner, when they install the new septic system, if they'd be able to outlet the perimeter drain into the public right of way. We have our Horseball Road, section 2 project that will be constructing a new roadside ditch across the frontage of that property. You can see it identified there on screen. We've coordinated with other city departments, also our consulting engineers that designed the project. They don't see any issues with them outletting this perimeter pipe there. Just one item to note, according to the construction phasing of the schedule, that roadside ditch is not going to be constructed or is anticipated to be constructed in the 2023 construction season. So it's going to be a while before they're able to outlet to the ditch. So the homeowner will have to work with the county health department to find another interim outlet.
Is there not a sanitary sewer line running in that general vicinity? I know we probably have it east of there.
That's correct. The city does not have any sanitary sewer services in that area.
And those parcels are outside the city limits or inside?
Oh, no, there is. They were annexed, I don't recall the year.
So Daniel, what action do you contemplate?
I apologize. I would recommend that you approve that the property owners of 1057 West Stones Crossing Road would have a future option to outlet this perimeter drain into the public right of way. There's just a couple of conditions here that they would continue to coordinate with the Johnson County Health Department right now as they're working through that permit and installation. And then in the future, once that roadside ditch is constructed, the property owner would coordinate with the city of Greenwood for a right of way permit.
I move we approve the request subject to those conditions.
Second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next is Graham Roads. This, you can see it on screen there, the gray shaded area. It's in the northwest corner of Graham Road and Main Street intersection. These improvements are based on a traffic study that was for a tenant of a recent building at the South Point area. They're going to have a lot of vehicles, delivery vehicles in and out. And so this was one of the recommendations to include this southbound right turn lane on Graham Road. Right now, all we have is the inspection and testing agreement, which is what we are asking the board to accept and ratify the upfront fee. The petitioner is still working on their other bonds and guarantees.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
My next item, actually, I'm sorry, my next 1, 2, 3 items. They are all related to O&M manuals for water quality. So the board would like to take them all as one action or individual.
They're all same, the conditions are the same, so we can take them as a group to just identify them.
Okay. The first one would be the replat Swartz Crossing Commercial Subdivision blocks D, E, F, and common area number 2. The second one is the flats at Stones Crossing project. And the third one is the medical behavior hospital of Indianapolis project.
And if there was a motion for approval, which I will make for all 3 of those, and authorize the mayor to sign the reports we have.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Daniel. Mr. Wright. Hey, we get to talk to you this time.
So just the one item this evening, it's one we do every year about this time to allow us to set up the lease agreement with Huntington to do vehicles. This year, most of what we're doing as far as the vehicle purchases, we're planning to use bond proceeds, got fire truck, police fleet vehicles, et cetera. But the hope is if things improve in the supply chain, there may be the opportunity to get a few more dump trucks because we were supposed to get some this year. And they could provide them, so we could use the lease agreement for those should it get them.
We have a resolution 22-01 been presented to us on this matter. Is there any questions for Greg? Is there a motion to pass resolution 22-01?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion- Thank you very much. Pass. Thanks, Greg. Mr. Rutherford, looks like it's your turn.
I'll move for approval of claims.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you all. We'll stand adjourned right at 6 o'clock. That was a long meeting and that. Yeah, pretty good. Council had a big agenda tonight. Anybody know?